everybody, and welcome back to WhatCulture's most consistently successful Money in the Bank series about NXT that's presented by me, NXT Ups and Downs, in which we go to the Wednesday Night War with a big yellow flag and go, this show's really good, I want to watch it all the time. And here we are, precisely 1 week removed from NXT on the USA Network's weirdest ever episode, probably their weakest ever showing, following probably their best ever takeover. We got like loads of stories we didn't really care about, and we got all the stuff we did want to know sort of like pushed to the side, and it made a bit of a mockery of the ups and down system, because it got loads of ups and quite a few downs, but loads of it was just like fine and in the middle. But not to worry, because things in NXT are seldom average for very long. Too much talent, too many possibilities, too much excitement, / too many brawls for things to not deliver 2 weeks in a row. But hope springs eternal, and of course hashtag on Thursdays we wear yellow. So with that in mind, my name is Adam Clery, and these are all the ups and downs for this week's episode of NXT. I had a second coffee this morning, that's what this is. Now, long-term viewers of this show might be expecting me to go through my usual drivel of, oh, the intro was really good, but I'm not going to give the intro an up, because if I did, I'd do it every single week, and just blah, 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 etc., etc. But no, this week we start with a very special installment of Bug Watch. Yes, of course, the most important element of NXT Ups and Downs. Here it is, the jazzy, groovy up. I will automatically award the show if we get sight or sound of Rick Bug / Eric Bugenhagen. And did we this week? Close enough! Yeah, I can't actually give that up in all good conscience, because he wasn't on the show, and this up is for him being on the show. But at least NXT on Twitter acknowledged his existence. They put a really cool clip up of him at NXT Milwaukee the other week, and just listen to the crowd. Look how good this man is. Put him on television. Put him on it immediately. Anyway, though, on with the show itself. And your opening match this evening is none other than Dominik Dijakovic versus Cameron Grimes. Now, you may recall last week when he got back in the ring with Keith Lee and said, I ain't ready to quit you yet, buddy, or words to that effect. My eyes rolled so hard, they nearly came clean out of my skull. And this was why. He is why, etc. But my whole point was that there was so many possibilities, so many new combinations, so many fresh new matchups we could have got from Lee and old DD moving apart from each other, that I was disappointed we weren't going to get those. And absolutely nobody was asking for Dominik Dijakovic versus Cameron Grimes, but we got it, and it was a banger of a TV match. It's enough. And gotta hold my hands up here, I have been critical of Cameron Grimes in the past, but every single time he is on TV, he over-delivers in such an eye-catching way, we're gonna have to stop pretending we're surprised by it now. The guy's been elevated sufficiently that he could do pretty much whatever he wants on NXT at the moment, so I can't wait to see where they go with that. But then, at the end of the match, there comes Damien Priest down the ramp. He thwacks Dijakovic in the back of the knee with a baton of some kind. He jumps the barrier. Cameron Grimes hits that double foot stomp and collects the win. A world of possibilities. Yep, look, you take Grimes, you push him on from there. They've now taken Dijakovic off television, and Priest now looks like a really bad man who might get a North American title shot. Look at all the narrative threads we're pulling out of the air and going in different directions instead of doing the same match 8 weeks in a row. Just while we're on the subject of this match, an absolute perler from your pal and mine, Mauro Ranallo here. Grimes, like the letter V, the only letter in the English language that constantly makes itself heard. And the technical savage looking for a big V, as in victory. Tonight, Beth. That's, I mean, yeah, okay, but thing about that is, hello there everybody, and welcome back to this wholly original brand new segment that's nothing like what Simon Miller does, that I like to call Ranallo Body Talks Like That, in which we take Mauro Ranallo's often obscure, bizarre, outlandish pop culture commentary references and try and explain them in a way that's going to make sense to you, a normal person. Now this week, our pal Mauro, he's gone down the vocabulary route by telling you that V is the letter that always makes itself heard. Now what he means by that is V is the only letter of the 26 characters in the English language which is never ever made silent. Yes, that's right, even strange letters like Z and J, they've been made silent in words borrowed from other languages like marijuana and laissez-faire. But even if they hadn't been, it wouldn't matter, because Mauro Chum Ranallo Body Talks Like That. William Regal then announced that there would be a tournament in the women's division to crown a #1 contender in a ladder match at TakeOver over WrestleMania weekend. Now, do you need me to tell you all the 1 million reasons why that's an up? No, good, you don't. We haven't got time anyway, it just is. Next up, Finn Balor hits the ring, and he is one of the most captivating, the most spellbinding presences in all of professional wrestling, right up until he gets a microphone in his hand. Now, don't be mad, don't be salty about that. What I'm trying to say is he is at best, 7 out of 10 speaker, but he's an 11 out of 10 anywhere else, and that gulf does show. Thus, this week we got the template for how all future Finn Balor promos should go. You let him out there, you give him a mic, you let him do just enough talking to get his point across, and then you interrupt him and let him have a fight. Yeah, he comes down, he says, I build brands, you know, I'm Finn Balor, I build brands, Universal Championship, done it, Intercontinental Championship, done it, this absolutely appalling accent, done it. But then he got interrupted by Imperium, and not even all of Imperium, just Eichner and Bartel, who said, yeah, alright, you've done a lot, but you know what you weirdly haven't done? The NXT UK Championship, and Walter, the reigning NXT UK champion, would like us to send you his regards. And then they beat the piss out of him. Now, yes, I have said that NXT really needs to rein in advancing all their storylines with brawls, and yes, they have just advanced the storyline with a brawl, but Balor's one of the people who should get to do that because it suits him the best. Everybody else should talk or do other things. I liked it. Here, it gets an up, and just... they're gonna do Balor versus Walter over WrestleMania weekend, are they? That's gonna be your NXT UK Championship match. I'm literally, you can't see, but I'm literally taking my pants off. Actually did a bit there. Oh, just one small tiny caveat over this WWE. If you are watching, and of course we all know that you are, please do not steer into the, well, Finn Balor's from Ireland, and Ireland is pretty much just like the UK, right guys, angle, because it's so bad. Please, no, I beg. Right, just before I go on here, I want to address the fact there was even more adverts for the BFC Angus Thick Burger from Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, because they actually described it, right, as a crispy wheel of ooey gooey cheese on top of a charbroiled Angus patty covered in boom boom sauce. Now, I know I made this joke that week that sounds disgusting and lol, I actually want to eat 10 of them, but how do I? I'm in the UK right now, we don't have either of those stores. How do I eat this burger? I want to eat this burger, and any of you that can make that happen, I want you to make that happen. I'm a relatively healthy guy. I go for runs. I eat sensibly. I want to have sex with this burger. Anyway, moving swiftly on from that, judging by the reaction to it online, a lot of people didn't actually like Mia Yim versus Xia Li, and you sitting at home going, oh, here he goes, Adam Clery doesn't really rate Mia Yim, he's going to say this is bad as well. Shut up. No, you're wrong. I actually thought it was fine. Like, don't get me wrong, it was just like sort of a squash match for Yim over Lee, and even in those circumstances didn't really do anything particularly exciting. It was more about Kai, it was more about Gonzalez, and it was a bit of a mess. But you've got to remember, this is a loose thread that they needed to wrap up somehow, and we are about to get this tournament in which everybody needs their own individual agency. So while the match and the whole thing wasn't good, it had a job to do, and it did that job. And the thing is, I've got to be consistent here. The other week I gave Gonzalez a down because it didn't really make any sense to me why she would suddenly just randomly decide to start helping Kai and right all these wrongs. So at least they are now coming out attempting to right some of these wrongs. That whole, hey, you took my spot from me in War Games, so I'm gonna beat you up. That's just, it makes sense, I guess. Look, right, bottom line here is Dakota Kai has Tegan Nox in a steel cage next week, and either during that or afterwards, all 4 of these women are going to do something together that's going to inform their run in the tournament. Going to give them all a little bit of agency, and that's all this match had to do, so I have to give it an up. Oh, and I just want you all to remember me saying this right now. That was Dakota Kai. Nervous, unconvincing babyface on the mic, Dakota Kai, just swaggering down to ringside there and cutting a seamless, believable heel promo. If they use her right, her 2020 is going to be huge. Tomaso Champa versus Austin Theory now, and there is just time for a little quick rewind to what I said last week. And you know what? If Theory gets one back on him at some point, like they've got a match next week, which he's obviously not going to win, but he might still look good in defeat. I don't know. If he gets something back out of this, then I guess the whole thing should emerge as a net positive. They did the match as expected. Theory lost, but he looked really good. He surprised Champa. He looked not quite as equal, but certainly that he could hang with him for a bit. There is your net positive, and there is your up. And of course, quite predictably, Gargano attacked Champa after the match, and that's going to keep that going a little bit longer. longer. We still don't know why Johnny Gargano's done all this, and we still don't know why we should really care about all of it, but we've got a long way to go to WrestleMania. They're not going to show all their cards for this immediately. I don't mind. And you know what it is, right? Austin Theory, yes, he lost this week, but he looked good in the doing so. Cameron Grimes, he's rarely featured on television, but he got a big win this week. They go into this bubbling mid-card, which should be pointed in the direction of the North American Championship, and there's just loads of other people who should be in there. Kushida should be in there. Damien Priest kind of cut the queue, but he should be in there. We'll get to somebody else who should be in there as well. And now that the backlog is cleared, now that the title isn't wrapped up in the Undisputed Era, and we're not doing Lee versus Dijakovic a million times, look how much bigger this division feels. I guess the point I'm trying to make with all this is just that I'm always right. Undisputed Era, just hanging out backstage with a little flag, just not an up or a down, just pop me the Kyle O'Reilly, even when he can't do the guitar, holds his hands just sort of naturally like this. Can't let it go. Right, Killian Dane versus Bronson Reed now, and Killian Dane is a tremendous professional wrestler who, if used correctly and put in the right feuds, could be a top star in pretty much any promotion in the world. But the very fact I must preface every time I talk about him with that should tell you everything. It just still is not clicking, and it hasn't been clicking since the first week. I don't know at this point how you fix it. I don't know what the program is. I don't know what the feud is. I don't know what the opponent is, but having him squash people like Bronson Reed, no, the guy is quite popular. He always looks really good. He had a banger with Roderick Strong the other week. He deserves a little bit better himself than a 6-minute defeat to someone who is also a perennial loser in Killian Dane. Like, both of these men did not need this match. And we're not really buying Dane as the threat he wants to be from beating Reed, but we also have now lost all the momentum of Reed having just had that match with Strong. Like, if you'd given them 15 minutes, it would have worked, but they were never going to give him 15 minutes, and 6 was a problem. And you know what I said before? There was somebody else who should be in that North American title picture. It's Bronson Reed. Like, the guy has, I've got a little list here, right? The guy has lost on television to Shane Thorne, Matt Riddle, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Dominic Dijakovic, Roderick Strong, and now Killian Dane. And every single time he's lost, you've come out of that match and gone, I gotta tell you what, Bronson Reed's pretty good, isn't he? I get why they probably didn't want him to beat Dane here, but I also don't think Dane should have beaten him, so this match should have just never happened. You need to make better use of both men, in my opinion. Down! Oh my god, up next. Right, okay, I'm a big Zach Gibson fan. I have watched the man cut some of the greatest promos you have ever seen. In fact, we have a clip.
Look at this div! Look at this div! There are only 2 subscriptions on your bank statement. The WWE Network and Pornhub Premium.
But even me, as a man who believes his in-ring, on-mic talents are nearly limitless, did not believe for 1 second that he could do something as improbable, as impressive, as seemingly unlikely as make anybody care about the Forgotten Sons. A genius. And all he did was go down that incredibly formulaic, actually, America, you are bad, to which every single American crowd will normally respond with, whoa, buddy, America's A-OK, and everybody hated him, and they all chanted USA, and producers very smartly threw the Forgotten Sons out in the midst of that patriotic wave of rebellion, and people were like, yes, Americans are gonna shut up the British people. And you know what it is, my fellow Americans? If the Forgotten Sons had just stolen a win here, then 6 months of inconsequential booking, of looking like complete losers, would have been all forgotten in a wave of Uncle Sam hysteria. But no, of course, they did not. They had a man advantage. They were literally America, so therefore should have beaten everybody, and still they got beat to the grizzled young veterans. What is the point? Was the match good? Not particularly. Did it really do anything for either team? Not particularly. Was Zach Gibson brilliant on the microphone and the whole thing really amused me? Yes, it did, and it's an up. Not an up or a down. This just really like Damien Priest leaving the arena, having literally assaulted a man with one woman under each arm like he's Usher in 2003. Pop me that. Right, now to your main event of the evening, and I woke up this morning, had a quick check of the old social medias, and loads of people, loads of people really hated this match. Thing is, a lot of people really like Bianca Belair. A lot of people really liked how strong she looked in the Royal Rumble. A lot of people really thought she should have beaten Ripley and gone on to the WrestleMania match with Charlotte, and now a lot of people are really angry that she got beat clean on TV. this has apparently taken away all the momentum of her Rumble performance, and it has apparently undone a lot of the good work that went into the TakeOver build, and it has apparently made her little more than some goober in the Charlotte versus Ripley feud. Now, that is one way to look at it. Another way to look at it would be that she is a not quite the finished article yet NXT prospect who dominated the main roster, who came this close to winning the belt at TakeOver, and has now just hung it out, has gone toe-to-toe with one of the greatest ever. Now, if you're one of those people who absolutely hated this match, I have a single question for you, okay? Right before Bayley finally won the NXT Women's Championship and went on probably the greatest reign in its history, who the did she ever beat? That whole story of near misses, of getting so close to the top of the mountain and never quite getting it done, informed the whole character build. It made that moment when she finally did it that much more worth it. And if you're saying that all the momentum's gone, that they've absolutely killed her push, the fact that you still support her proves that they haven't. Now, yes, admittedly, this match wasn't everything that a Charlotte versus Bianca Belair match could be, but what? You want it all in the first match. You don't want to have a long career that builds up to some kind of critically acclaimed encounter later down the line. I don't get it. Charlotte beats her clean because Charlotte is better than Bianca Belair. She's like a gazillion-time champion. Belair is in NXT. Charlotte has won it all on the main roster. Of course, she beat her clean, and they're getting the natural selection over as a good move. It's just not Belair's time yet, and stuff like this will make the eventual moment it all comes when she finally wins that belt. It will make it feel so much more worth it. Because you remember this, and you remember just all the nah. I've lost my words. Please just repeat after me, okay? If your favorites win all the time, they will stop being your favorites. Ask Roman Reigns. So yes, the match gets it up, and because I want you all to sit down and have a real long hard think about why you hate this, I'm giving it the yellow jacket as well. If I mean anything to you, then so should that. But I'm not finished yet, because there was one part of all this which I didn't like. If I'm ever getting beaten up, right, let's say I have gone on a night out with a couple of like really weird repressed lads who are all wearing pretty much the same shirt, take issue with my sweet style and start kicking my head in. If any of you lot, anybody, ever comes to my rescue but decides to just stop, grandstand for a little bit and wait for the music to kick in while I'm literally getting my ankle smashed into a million pieces, just don't bother. Honestly, I'd rather you didn't bother. Let me die. I don't know whose direction she was under here, but Rhea Ripley deciding to come out and make the save for her friend after she'd done all her entrance ramp stuff and let her music play through sufficiently while her ankle is literally in a chair was just Kevin Dunn, main roster 101. Why are you doing that stuff? It's a shame as well, because I thought it was a really solid show and I thought it was a really, really good match, and it ended it on this, that was weird kind of note, which I don't ever want to leave a show. I want to leave a show thinking, good gosh, by gum, oh howdy, pip pip cheerio, I really enjoyed that wrestling show. Ooh, that's a t-shirt. But it did. They let us go out on this note, and it was kind of like, yeah, all right, okay, but your friend there is really, really hurt. But anyway, I digress. The show was much better than last week. I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you made of it all in the comments below. Of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I have, of course, been Adam Clery. I have rattled through this outro. Hashtag on Thursdays, we wear yellow. And I will see you soon.